I guess we can start now because I do not have any question asked on the AMA channel. What we can do now is you come for take the mic and ask directly your own questions. Maybe it's gonna be better. If someone want to take the mic, maybe OG Turkey or OG Primus. Otherwise, I will start to speak about the V2 and the little tricks about the V2 of Prometheus. So I guess Turkey doesn't want to come on the scene.
Hey, sorry, I was delayed there. How's it going?
No problem, no problem. I'm fine, and you?
Good. I know we talked about like a couple months ago, and this could be jumping ahead a little bit on the investment strategy. And obviously, we're doing a really good job on the trading aspect of it. And we kind of made that decision a few months ago. Okay, we'll shift more into the trading, and seem to be a good play because we're doing really well in there. But the farming, and I'm not as familiar, that's not necessarily like my territory in the crypto world. I'm curious. I thought in my head like farming was actually a little bit more safer, and we hadn't done as well in that. And I know we're probably again going more to trading and putting more into that, which is great. But I was curious on what your thoughts on how that farming, why we came in that state there of it not being so good. Do we need to even consider dropping it and just do full trading, or do you think a diversity should, like, what do you think the future of that looks like as far as how we're going to do the investment?
It's funny that you ask that question because we already prepare a lot about that topic. So basically what happened with the farming operation is most of our farming operation were in, let's say, stable coin with USDC slash DI, which is an algorithmic stable coin backed by 80% of USDC. They get an exploit, and that exploit creates a huge amount of bad debt, something around, if I remember it good, around 15 millions of bad debt to the protocol. So basically, I make a quick calculation. So they lose his peg because of that bad debt and that loss of collateral. And I took the decision to hold that position based on a simple calculation. When I see the APR work currently on the market for stablecoin versus the potential gain that we can make once they gonna peg again, because there is something about the Deus ecosystem that I'm gonna speak after. We can carry that, let's say, trade during 3 months, and the equivalent, if within 3 months they peg again, the total amount of profit that we will make is far greater than just 3 months of farming. If they start to peg only after 3 months, then we go in a way that we call capital inefficiency. We will not lose money, but we could have made more if we have put that capital somewhere else. Because our trading operation is successful, I prefer to carry that trade on the day than to just sold the position and that's it. Also, we take a big loss on the FTM. I think I purchased something like 25 to 30K worth of FTM when FTM was around $1.40, and now it's worth 0.30 cents. 30 cents, sorry. So we get a hit on that. So why I carry that trade on the day? Because in fact, Deus have a project which is to create a decentralized Forex, stock market, derivative market on chain. And they have already a few partnerships to create that. Normally, according to what they said, the final version of the product gonna be launched, I think, between July to August. So all the tokens that they have, like DEI and Deus, will have an utility on their new decentralized trading platform. So basically what Deus want to do, if you want to buy gold, you will be able to do it as a derivative, not as a commodities, like paper gold. But you will be able to do it on chain, on the blockchain. It's the first protocol who will manage to do that. So they will have the first mover advantage. And I think that kind of product is so much innovative that they're going to be successful as hell. And they will have a shitload of cash flow in order to put back the unpaid. basically, this is why I carry that trade, because there is a real product, a real utility behind that. So that's why. And regarding the trading operation, after the AMA, we will launch a vote to know if we will allocate the treasury. So I think it's around $86,000, more or less, to the trading operation, which gonna help me also in order to develop other features of Prometheus. Because to do the farming, it's a full-time job, but I cannot be on Prometheus as a project manager, as a lead developer, and in the meantime to check the farming operation every day, to get all the alpha in real time, and so on and so on, because it's a huge amount of work. So I cannot be everywhere, and I think for a short amount of time, maybe 3 to 4 months, this is what I wish, we will go full trading.
Okay, gotcha. So this is still carryover from a few months ago, like I said, with the that exploit and recovering from that, and obviously in Phantom as well from that. So I guess it seems like farming, maybe it has, we do that again sometime down the road, if we pass whatever vote. But it seems trading, that has a lot more flexibility because you can do quick moves as opposed to farming, where if something happens, we purchase X amount of tokens or whatever, then that price can just go, downhill.
And also right now, because we are, I think, officially in a bear market, I mean, let's say in a down trade market at least, I do not see actually, even for my own portfolio, I do not see any risk-reward ratio who is interesting. I see nothing interesting as an opportunity right now. So that's why I think for at least 3 to 4 months, it's better to just do the trading operation.
And yeah, and I did jump the gun on that question. I mentioned in the chat, but just congratulations, obviously on version 2 and the website. Everything looks great, and I'm excited about it. It is pretty straightforward. I like the UI and the design and so forth. It took a lot of effort on both sides.
Yeah.
On the UX side, the site is very sleek, and then obviously the actual mechanics from there. Did we remove the Apollo temple?
No. Right now it's just UX UI bug, because basically we, let's say, delete the bonds page for put it directly on the temple page. Mm-hmm. And when we create the bonds contract, at that time, we didn't include in the bonds contract the Apollo node, because at that time, it doesn't make sense for us to be like, okay, to make a bonds for a temple who cost 1 PHI, which is at the all-time high $40. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all, because we just had an issue with the BUSD bond before. We, let's say, hide the Apollo node, but if you select the payment, let's say the payment temple, the method of payment of the temple with a PHI, you will be able to select your Apollo node. We are just working on that. First, our priority was to fix the bonds issue. Now it's fixed, so we are going to work on the UX UI.
Okay, yeah, I just noticed that, and I now remember. I think you guys had commented that on a previous note. I guess kind of just last questions, and then I can let anyone go ahead. On the dividends portion, we're split with 2 different models, the gPHI and dPHI. And I think right now it's 50-50. That was the last pass. I think it was mentioned the idea is the 15th of the month. So like July 15th would be this coming up one. That's when the snapshot is going to be taken of how much you have? Okay. And then it's paid out at the end of that month, or is it paid out on the 15th?
No, it's gonna be paid out once the snapshot is taken. So basically how it's works, we are going to send the money to the 2 different contracts, gPHI dividends and dPHI dividends. And once we send the money to this contract, we are going to, let's say, update them to say like, hey, there is a new amount of dividends we need to be distributed. So please update. It's going to update. In the same time, it's going to take the snapshot. And then once the snapshot is done, immediately you will be able to claim your dividends. So basically, it's mean that you have until the, let's, for make it safe, the 14th to lock your dPHI and to update also your gPHI amount. Because every time you create a temple, you will have to claim your gPHI And then after, you have to, let's say, reapprove the contract in order to update your share of the gPHI dividends pool. Otherwise, you will not be taken into account on the snapshot on the 15th. And this month, exceptionally, we are going to have 2 dividend distribution. The first of the 15th of July, it's going to be the dividends of June, and at the end of July, it's going to be the dividends of July. So in total, I can give you the number, $19,000 for May and $27,000 for June. And the dividend of July going to be given in August.
Okay, then to clarify, because I knew just once you purchase a temple, the first thing I do is once I purchase a temple, I go into the governance tab and then I claim my gPHI to make sure that I have that in my wallet, and then I make sure that the balance at the top of the governance is there and I don't have anything left over. And that obviously that's important, because if you don't do that, then you're not going to get the full benefit of the dividend. But I guess seems like what you're saying, in addition to that, if I don't purchase any more templates for a few months, on the dividends page, I do need to click that approve button each month. Okay.
Not each month. Every time you have new gPHI into your wallet, you will have to reapprove the contract. But if you do not have any new gPHI, there is no need to do it.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, that's I just was curious about those few things on there. But otherwise, I'm good. I'll let other people go ahead and speak if they want, or you can chat about V2.
If there is other people who have questions, feel free to ask. Either if you are shy, you can write your question on the question for IMA channel, or you can directly take the mic. Okay, OG Primus, your turn.
Can you hear me okay?
Hello, I can hear you.
The gPHI and then the PHI, is there like a dollar? Can we set a rate between, so for example, I bought the Zeus and then I got was it 4, right? 4 gPHI, right?
Yes, exactly. 4 gPHI per Zeus temple.
So what I want to know, like for some other folks ask me, is that what's the price that for to the PHI? Because if they think about locking it or burning it, what is the actual comparable price to the two, between the two?
Yeah, I think I understand your question. Basically, gPHI have, let's say, no value because it's not a token that you can trade or exchange. It's a governance token, but it's also a proof of, let's say, ownership of your share of the protocol. But what's have a, let's say, a real value, it's a dPHI.
Okay.
It's a dPHI. Why? Because let's say, for example, we give, let's say, $10,000 of dividends this month, just for the dPHI dividends pool. So if you want to know the true value of the dPHI token, you have to, let's say, divide the total amount of dividend given by the total dPHI in circulation. So let's say, for example, we give $10,000 of dividend for the dPHI pool, and you have, let's say, 10,000 dPHI in circulation. So the true market value of dPHI, it's $1 per dPHI, which is more or less in accordance, more or less a match with the phi value, for example.
Oh, okay.
But right now, from the number that I have, there is 4,272 dPHI in circulation.
Okay.
So we are going to give for the dPHI dividend pool $8,000 the 15th of July. We divide by 4,272. The true value of dPHI right now, it's $1.88, which is above the market value of phi. So it means that right now, if you already have some temples and you want to make, let's say, a quick buck, you have your temple, you buy some phi on the market, you lock them for, let's say, 2 years, forget that 1-to-1 ratio, or even more if you burn them, where you get a 1 to 1.5 ratio, and then you make a difference of right now 70 cents on the dollars.
Okay.
So this is how you can calculate the true value of dPHI.
Okay.
And we can do the same for the gPHI. Right now, there is 2,428 gPHI. So if I divide 8,000 by 2,428, it's give $3.29 per gPHI.
Thank you for the explanation.
So we are 3 times above so it's the same. We are 3 times above market value. So if you buy, let's say, for $1,000 of phi, you're going to get more or less 10 Zeus temple, which is going to give you 40 gPHI at the current price of the share dividend, which is $3.29. You multiply by $3.29 by 40. It's gonna give you, it's a 10% ROI, instant ROI. 10% instant, which is still a good deal.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, you can let me go now if you want.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, and I forget to give a precision. The total amount of PHI that you can lock is more or less equal to the total amount of PHI that you can receive from your temple. So you cannot buy one Apollo temple and say, okay, I'm gonna lock, I don't know, 10,000 PHI in order to get a bigger share of the dividends pool. You cannot do that. You can lock proportionally. I mean, you can lock in function of the total amount of temple that you have. More you have temple, more you can lock, bigger your dividend share is gonna be. So it's a small precision that I want to say. If someone else have other question. El Cubano, your turn.
Hi, I just have a question concerned to that new model, let's say. Are you trying to, let's say, motivate to burn, let's say, the PHI, get then BUSD, and then try to, let's say, reinvest in more, let's say now they are called temples using BUSD?
Yeah.
Is that the reason behind that action, or?
It's something, so I'm not gonna lie, it's something that we wish and we think it's smarter to do it that way, but there is no obligation, of course. If you want to keep your BUSD dividends, keep them for you and spend them as you wish. But if you want, let's say, to compound your dividends, it's maybe smarter to do it through the bonds, and you get your 10% discount, by the way, in order to get new temple, more gPHI, and more PHI to lock, than to just buy the PHI, the native token, increase the price of PHI, and that's it. We prefer to give several options. From an investment point of view, it's make more sense for us to get BUSD, because we cannot trade PHI. I cannot pay my rent with PHI. I cannot pay my food,
That's true,
cannot trade with it. So it's make more sense for us to incentivize people and even new investors who want to invest in the protocol to do it in BUSD. But it's not going to be permanent. The bond's not going to be permanent. And the burn for the locking period, it's not going to be permanent either. Maybe once we reach a specific threshold of, let's say, $1 million, $2 million of asset under management, we will maybe close the bonds and open maybe 2 times a year the burning option for the locking.
Okay.
The idea behind that ratio of locking on how many DeFi you are going to receive in function of your locking period, it's also to create a competition between the investors who, let's say, have to fight for get the bigger share of the pool. Like this, it's going to give a much more option. It's going to create a protocol with much more healthier, because it's going to incentivize people to buy PHI or either to bond it. So it's going to increase our value of asset under management, or it's going to increase, but this is not something that I wish right now, the value of PHI.
Yeah, I mean, the other alternative, but this is also not good for you, would be that people, they just keep their PHI, keep earning their daily rewards, let's say, and wait for the next bull run and hope that the price increase.
Yes.
Yeah. But okay, I understand that
it's something that I thought about. And that's why I know that some people will keep part of their PHI somewhere in order to sell them in the next bull market. I know some people will do that, but if you are, let's say, greedy, you will say, okay, maybe either I keep my PHI like this, or right now I can get every month some BUSD. I think it's a no-brain deal to keep your PHI on your wallet in order to wait a bull market who's gonna come maybe in 1 year or 2 years. Doesn't make sense. Better to lock them and to be sure at 100% that every month you're gonna get your dividends.
Okay, well, it's just, I don't know, I have to analyze what is going to be better, either to lock them or to burn them forever. So, I mean,
in fact, it depends it depends on how many temples that you have. For example, let's say, it's not an advice that I'm going to give you. It's something that I will do for myself if I was that kind of investors. Let's say I'm a small investor right now. I have only 4 Zeus temples. So what I'm going to do if I was that kind of guy, I will take all my PHI and burn them forever first. And then after, with the new dividends, I'm going to buy, if I want to compound, I'm going to buy with the bonds another Zeus node for example. And then with the reward of that Zeus node, I'm gonna lock them, let's say, for 2 years. And the next month, the reward, in the next month, I'm gonna use my dividends for compound again. And the rewards of the new temple, I'm gonna lock them 1 year, and I will do that, so on and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And after 1 year of locking, I will do 6 months, and after I will do 3 months, and I'm gonna rinse and repeat. This is what I'm gonna do. Like this, I will keep the biggest share of my portfolio in Prometheus, in DeFi, locked forever. Like this, it's allow me to compete, let's say, fairly with the biggest wallets. Because if you have, let's say, there is one shareholder who have, I think, something around 40 Zeus node, more or less. For sure, if you have 40 Zeus node, you're not gonna lock your reward forever. You're gonna do a mix between 3 months to 2 years. But if you're a small wallet, it's make more sense for you to lock them forever in order to have a bigger share of the pool, because you're gonna have 50% more of that. And anyway, after, even with the decay, your temple, still gonna give you 8% of return per month in native token and PHI. One Zeus node after 1 year gonna give you 8 PHI per month. So you will still be able after to lock them for more or less long term. So this is what I'm gonna do if I'm a small investor in Prometheus.
And the DeFi I would receive for the burning, let's say, what can I do with this DeFi?
Yeah, it's allow you to have a share of the dividends pool. Bigger your share is, bigger your dividends gonna be.
Okay, but the dividend is based on the DeFi I have,
kind of utility.
Based?
Yes, exactly. The dividends that you're gonna get, it's based on how many DeFi you have versus the other DeFi holders. For example, if we give dividends for the DeFi dividends pool, if there is a dividends of $100 and you have 10 DeFi, there is 100 BUSD of dividends, and there is 100 DeFi in circulation. So, and you have 10 DeFi. So on that $100, you're gonna receive $10.
Okay. So DeFi is not thought to buy another temples.
No, you cannot use DeFi for buy another temple.
Okay.
It's only used to get your monthly dividends. So like this, nobody have to worry about the price of PHI.
Okay. Is there any video in YouTube making some more clarification about this?
We will make a YouTube video pretty soon.
Okay.
It's on the roadmap. I think I'm going to make a Medium article this week, and maybe I can see with Turkey and Primus to make a YouTube video kind of a tutorial.
I have a couple of videos even prior to this that kind of goes over some of it. I am going to make a new one as well, but it gives you pretty much the same information. I can just put in the link in the general chat. That'll give you just a general idea of kind of the two, gPHI and DeFi and the governance and so forth. But yeah, like 23 said, I'm also going to make a new one based off all this new UI and everything. So that hopefully should help.
Yeah. And if you want, we can make the video together. Thanks. Like this, we can give a live explanation, and it's gonna help because all the new members of the community, or even the other members, because I feel like not everybody understand the goal of DeFi and so on. So
yeah, for sure, I'm down.
So El Cubano, do you have any other question?
No, not for the moment. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Okay, I put you back in the audience. So after, there is another topic that I would like to speak about, which is what's next. So what's next? I know there is a roadmap, but in terms of internal management and in terms of, okay, Skyfall, I finished what I'm going to say, and after I take you on the mic. Is it okay for you? So what's next? So right now, I feel that in the next 2, 3, 4 months, we are going to focus on the trading, improve all the little bugs that we have on the front part, and we are going to start to work on another topic, which is the liquidity mining layer 2. So I'm going to speak about that on maybe another AMA, not right now. This is our priority. We are still working also on, because I speak about it since the beginning, to create a whole DeFi ecosystem around Prometheus. We are still working on that. We are still exploring new business model and so on. But right now, for the next 3 months, we will not have any major change on Prometheus. So I think we go on 3 months, who will be kind of boring. Maybe we are still going to do some marketing and so on, But in terms of product, in terms of features, I think there is nothing new who's going to come for the next 3 months. Apart from that, that's all. We will have a bit of delay in terms of the roadmap, but that V2 asks us a lot of work. And I think for the team, they deserve to slow down a bit in terms of work rhythm, because after all, we do a marathon. We don't do a 100 meters run. We are here for stay, and we need to manage our effort in order to maintain the pace. So that's it. Skyfall, I take you on the mic.
Thank you guys. Before I start, I'd really like to appreciate all the efforts that's being part of the protocol. It's really amazing to be part of the journey. Thank you for Prometheus to
Thank you.
pull me into this, and I really enjoyed the whole process of the growth, and I see a lot of good things happening, and I expect really good things from you guys. But thank you so much for this opportunity though. I have a simple question though for you guys. What would you suggest would be the right strategy, either for somebody to keep making temples like Zeus temples with the PHI that they're receiving, or to go with the dividends? What if we choose not to go with the dividends? Do you think it's a right move to not go for dividends and just keep making more and more of temples? Would you think that is a right strategy?
So I cannot give you a financial advice, but either you lock your FI or not, you will still be able to get dividends with the gPHI pools, because every time you make a new temple, you're gonna get your gPHI on the governance menu. When you go on the menu, you have the governance, I don't know what's the name, link, and you can claim your gPHI. You can make the temple with your PHI that you get from your temples, and you can make temples also with the dividends that you receive from the gPHI dividends pool in BUSD with the bonds. So you can, let's say, snowball your compound that way. It's a viable strategy. Is it the optimal strategy? I don't know. You need to run some math for you. What do you prefer? Did you prefer to a bigger dividends right now, and maybe to not be able to get, let's say, to defend your share of the pool later? You have to make your own math for that. But the way that the system have been designed, it's that no matter what, you will still receive, and no matter what you do, either you go full temple or you go full locking, no matter what you do, you will still receive a little bit or more or less BUSD every month, no matter what you do.
All right.
There is more strategy who will give you more dividends than other, but in any case, you will still get your dividends.
All right. Because currently, right now, I was just confused of what should I do. Like right now, there are so many options, right? Like you have gPHI and you have dPHI.
Yeah.
Should I lock them, or should I just claim my gPHI, or should I lock my PHI to get the dPHI? So right now it's like a confusion, like which one should I do it?
There is a Medium article who explore a bit of the strategy that I identify, at least for myself. So you can read that article and to see the thinking behind the process. So you can check on the channel Medium in the information tab, and I think it's the last article who speak about it.
I think I saw the breakdown of 50% for the gPHI and the dPHI, right? Was that the article you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me check. I will send the link. Is it in Medium already? You can check it. You go to the Medium channel in information tab, and just under the floating cell tax, and it's the last post. And you click on that, and you will have all the, let's say, all the strategy and so on.
Done. We'll do that.
Wait, no. It's the article. The name is Prometheus V2 monthly BUSD dividends and much more. It's that article. So it's before the last post, the post of the 9th May.
Done. I will go through that one. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Okay. Thank you so much. That's it for now.
You're welcome. And also, Skyfall, thank you for what you say. It's really make us happy to see that our work is appreciated. Thanks a lot. If someone have other question, feel free to ask. Okay, I guess no further question. So I have nothing more to say except that there is a bunch of content who will come out for further explanation of the V2, for the dPHI especially, and after we are going to do some marketing. So I'm pretty confident of the quality of the protocol, because from all, let's say, all the nodes protocol, we were the one who managed successfully to not charge a monthly fees to our investors, and we will be able to give back in BUSD a monthly dividend, so a true passive income, and not any, let's say, nodes protocol managed to do that. In fact, none of them managed to do that. And us, we managed to do it. And right now, our objective is to give every single month a monthly dividend which is bigger than the previous one. It's gonna be our only focus. Our first priority is start from now. That every month you get something bigger than the last month. So if you do not have any other question, I think that we can end the AMA, and I think we are going to do maybe another AMA at the end of July or beginning of August, because I have to take some holiday as well. I'm gonna take maybe 1 week. So I think, yeah, the next AMA gonna be beginning of August, I think, and that's it. So guys, thank you for coming. I really appreciate that you take the time for us, and I really hope that you appreciate all the effort that the team have done for that V2. I wish you a nice day. Enjoy and take care. Bye.